Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Scarlets Fever with me, Lee G, and my co-hosts, Big M, and from this point forward, Catboy. Good evening, gents.
Evening.
Tis I, Catboy. No, 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 Catboy.
Has anyone's ever seen PJ Masks? We got him here.
So somebody tried to have a go at Hugh on Twitter. Most people have a go at you on Twitter, to be fair, Hugh. But somebody,
a very small proportion of the same 6 people every week.
Yeah, it's the same people, and every time you give them a fact, they just go, "I don't care about your facts. My opinion is more important than your facts. I don't care how many times he passed the ball. I'm going to say he's a good kicker." So anyway, somebody had a go at Hugh, and then when Hugh threw some facts back, they went, "Oh yeah, that's Catboy." So from this point forward, he didn't give me a nickname. I'll be fair. He didn't.
It's because he thinks that we're the same person. So he thinks that I do all of your accounts.
Right. Okay. I wouldn't wish that on anyone, mate. I've seen all of our accounts, all of our Twitter accounts and our Facebook accounts.
Yeah, not financial accounts. They don't exist.
No, fuck no. No, Jesus, no. We'd need money coming in for that, mate. So I see what comes in over all of our accounts, and sometimes you do get the same people messaging different Twitter accounts. Like they'll message the Dragons when they'll message the Ospreys when they'll message us, or they'll put comments on our posts and stuff, and they'll be completely different comments about the same thing, you know. So they'll say, I don't know, let's go, oh, I like Mason. I thought Mason Grady had a good game on one post, and then they'll go, Mason Grady had a shit paste on another, and I can see I can see you. You're literally 5 minutes apart on different accounts, like, you know.
Yeah, one guy commented on a thing that I did on my personal, saying, "You're always so negative. I can't believe you say this about the players." And then I posted on the Scarlets account, like, "Any expectations for this week's game?" And he replied saying, "No, we're shit." I was like, I can see you.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous. But there we go. That's life. So what have we been up to this week, gents? Other than dealing with abuse on Twitter, what have we been up to? Anything exciting? Anything interesting?
You go, Mark.
That's my answer. Nothing. I've been boring as hell. No, it's January, man. You know, I got the kids bloody back in school. I'm still adjusting to that. You know, I gotta wait till February. You know, I gotta recover from Christmas before I start doing anything fun.
It must be a bit cold turkey for you with the kids, like having them all there, and especially when you were living in that different place while you move in house, and now they're all gone. It must be like, what's happened?
It's actually louder. It's really surprising. Oh, they're all in one room, and it's nice and quiet. They get on. Give them some space. They go wild. It's unreal. I mean, the little one is still home from school. She's only 3, so she's not going to be gone for a few more months yet. But other than it, it's quiet. Fair play. So it's unreal. I mean, if people with kids will get it the moment they go back into school, and especially if you work from home, it's like, what's happened?
When you say the 3-year-old will be gone, that's not like she's moving out or anything. You just mean she's going to school. Yeah.
Oh no, boarding school. I'm kicking her away. Christ, I'm not human. Yeah, she's we've had her in nurseries, but she's our last, so we've got 5. She's our last. We're like, no, we can't put her in full time yet. Let's keep her home. Let's love her a bit more before she goes away to school for 6 hours a day.
It's nice then, isn't it? So do me a favor, Mark. This is one for YouTube. Just turn round to the left or to the right for me. Just this. Yes, he's got his big girly hairband back in. Well done. I thought you were looking a bit well trimmed for this evening. I thought you were looking, you know, like almost football-esque with the hair control there, mate. You know.
It keeps flopping around the front. It's getting on my nerves. So yeah, hairband styling is coming back.
They'll be calling you a hair boy now. That's what they're calling.
That's a bit generic, innit? Can we go one better?
I think you can have a beard and be called Boy.
Hairy boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shall we? After we did last week's, let's move on from that one. After we did last week's, let's not talk about rugby. And then like Hugh started sharing his Lego stuff. So I thought this week I would share that. And when I say my Lego, it's not my Lego now. This is my son's Lego, and I think he's had this one about. This one must be 7 or 8 years old. So this is
Oh.
Eiffel Tower. See?
What's that? What 8 inches?
I could make a rather, but I'm not going.
Touching 9, I reckon.
Let's move on from that, gents. That's rather impressive. It's really, really difficult. This one took him like.
It's blurred here. What is it?
This one took him
Blurred.
4 or 5 hours. So this
Oh,
is your
yes.
shuttle, isn't it?
This is my shuttle. And so, right, the best thing about this.
Oh,
And you've got.
there's the
stuff in it.
payload.
And
There are people listening.
audio
to us to
listeners.
talk about rugby, boys.
Audio listeners, it's a Lego shuttle. Right.
Yeah.
And then it's got a little satellite that goes inside it. There's a little attachment.
Does it have a little string so you can attach it to something?
And then float it away.
No, it doesn't, but I'm sure I could come up with that myself if I really wanted to. Now that I'm an adult, I can improvise my own Lego.
You're an adult. Think again, Catboy.
See, people think that when men grow up, they mature, and
What?
I'm nearly.
We get
Does anyone
taller.
actually think that?
We get taller. That's about it.
Yeah, I've got 3 joke books for Christmas. You know what I mean? Well, I got 2.
Well, that should be your bit. Lee's joke of the week.
No, because I'm going through my pile of dad jokes. I've got like dad joke cards. I got 2 books and a pack of cards. And I'm going through my pack of cards and I go in, yeah, I've told that one. I've told that one. And it's like shit dad jokes. And I'm going, there's like 100 dad jokes. And I'm like, no, I've told that one. I told that one. I've told that one. I've told that one.
I know
I'm
all
like,
these.
Hmm?
You going? I know all these jokes.
I do. I'm gonna I might bring them on for next week. Anyway, let's talk rugby, boys. Let's talk rugby. Let's get on to rugby at some point, shall we? Martyn, any Scarlets news or community news for us this week, mate?
No news as such with the main seniors. But like I said last week, the RAG has all started now with the under 16s, under 18s. Girls were up in Colwyn Bay, girls 18s, and they lost out 29-19 to Dragons. Apparently a better performance than last week, so slowly building. So that's really good. On to next week now, they're facing RGCD on the 21st at Cap. They've got a 2:30 kickoff, so slightly more accessible than going up north. The boys 18s was finally announced, the squad. So I've got it all written down here. I'm not going to go name by name. I'm just going to say which clubs are represented. We've got players from Aberystwyth, Ammanford, Am United, Bury Port, Cardigan, Carmarthen Athletic, Carmarthen Quins, Kidwelly, Llandilo, Newcastle Emlyn, Pembroke, Penlan, Pennybank, Tenby, Tumble, and Whitland. We've also got 2 players from Llanyshian. And for anyone who doesn't know where that is, that's Cardiff way. So we've stolen 2 boys from Cardiff.
Didn't I see one from somewhere in the middle of England as well?
Yeah, there's 5 outside of Wales. Then, well, based outside of Wales, they've come up with like Llandovery College and stuff. So there is a few of them. If you really want to know, I can have a look at my little sheet. And
I think we shared it, didn't we? I think we shared it. I know we shared it on Facebook. We'll share
it's
it
on
again.
their list. Like when they put up the list, they have the club and the school underneath, and you can find it, but obviously they put it in such small, bloody italic or whatever writing, it's hard to make out. Oh, and that's it.
When you get old, and you go in with the eyes.
Maybe they're whispering. They're going, "He's English. Don't tell
anybody." That's what it is.
Yeah, so they kick off this season now on Wednesday, also at Cap, at 7:15 in the evening. So anyone who fancies, watching the next generation, I think this game might actually be on S-Pedrex. So we have got a couple of games going on there. So keep an eye out, keep your ear out, see the stars in the future. Boys 16 East and West, we're expecting those squads this week. And that's all there is for Scarlets.
Cool.
Now, if we drop into the community game, I guess this is still.
Oh, hang on. Haven't we been linked with that other South African hooker?
Oh yeah.
Oh
but that's
yeah,
not
that came out today. Yeah, yeah.
Martys van der Merwe, yeah, but do we really want to pull another South African hooker?
How many do we need? We had 2 on the bench on the weekend.
True. No, well, obviously, Swart is only a temporary hooker, shall we say?
He's a plaster.
But, yeah, and we haven't seen as much of him as I expected, so I don't think he's as good as we expected. No disrespect to the guy, but I thought he would have been starting and have a few more bench appearances, especially above Sean Evans. And again, no disrespect to Sean, but he's not a traditional, big ball carrying hooker.
No, he's not that bulk, is he? The Kenner wins barrel run kind of bulk. He's a different type of hooker, but he's not that bulk that maybe we're missing. So, okay, let's have a look at the community game then. Mart, give us the rundown on the community game.
Okay, well, this is still technically community. So Wales under-20s had a hit out against Aberafan because they had a week off thanks to actually being picked to the dirt, thrown in the bin, tied up, thrown in a river, never to be thought of again, because that's where we are with them. We had quite a few boys in the under-20s. We had Harry Thomas, Will Couch, William Pressey, Lucas Ataro, Max Page, Gabriel McDonald, and Yori Badham. We had a good couple tries in there as well. I know Badham and McDonald scored. And obviously, under-20s eventually run out winners after being behind at half-time. So good performances for all our boys. And
What did they? I thought they lost 20 points to 17.
That was half-time.
Oh,
I think it was like, it was 40-something, 33 it finished.
Cool.
So,
is it like the full squad, or was it, because there are a few boys with regions, aren't there?
Yeah, it wasn't a full squad. Did about, when I spoke to Scott Snyder, and he's their current defence coach, they said that about 10 boys or so down. I know most of them boys will probably walk into the 23. So this really is a few boys we can expect to start, but it's more of an expanded squad to come in as well.
Because there's a few young under-20s players who are going to be having multiple seasons at under-20s, aren't they? Because they started dead early.
Well, yeah, it's how with bloody WRU have changed it. They're no longer doing it from September 1st. They do it from January 1st. So
yeah, it's been that way a few years now.
Yeah, and a few boys who should be playing are ineligible, which is absolutely bonkers. This is a bloody a global game. Under-20s are a global thing. How can a union decide, oh no, we're going to pick boys from this age because we want to? I don't see how they can do that, but it's how it is.
I think it aligns with the way Ireland and France have always done it, and for some reason we decided to adopt that rather than start the season. So yeah, at one point they were talking about doing it game by game. So if for under-20s, yeah, if you were under 20 at the start of the game, you were fine.
What if you turned 20 during the game?
No, on the day of the game, then you weren't eligible.
No, that's like the UEFA rules. That is, if you start qualification and you're under the age, then you can play all the way through to the competition, even if it's like 2 years later and you've gone 2 years over. It's stupid.
They've done all sorts of stuff. Anyway, is that all for the under-20s?
Yeah, that's just the under-20s. We can go into the main stuff now. We can go into a proper community game. And I know who watched this game, Thursday Night Lights. We had Clermont.
Oh, yeah, we could spend hours talking about this.
This was a really good game.
It was really good.
Honestly, a hell of an advert for the Welsh Premiership. And I would personally love to see more games televised because, let's be honest, we need it. Obviously, Clermont Quins, then we had a few boys in that as well. We had Iestyn William and Charlie Titcombe, who both started. William got a try in Titcombe with a rather disappointing 15 points by his own standard.
Just 15 points.
I know, terrible.
He's a hell of a player. And he also confirmed, because he did an interview after the match, and he went, "Oh yeah, there's 3 wins for me now because I played in the Neath game as well." So the only games that Quins have won are when Charlie Titcombe's been on the pitch. So that tells the story, doesn't it?
It speaks everything. And we
His
also had
kicking from hands. Sorry, I'll let you go in a second.
Oh no, those spiral kicks.
His
those
kicking from hand is
wins.
unreal.
Oh wow! It's just anyone who's not a fan of kicking, watch this boy. Like we don't see many spiral kicks anymore, but Jesus, oh, they just bang on the money just so many times. We had a few extra boys on the bench. We had Sam O'Connor, Lewis Morgan, and Iestyn Wood. Iestyn Wood performed a doubler this weekend, and I'll get onto that later. Quins, they won 35-28, but in real terms, they won 35-25 because the ref is bloody blind and can't see bloody Titcombe tapping and then kicking out. I mean, three, four officials at this level, and he can't see him tap the ball before kicking it out. Terrible. If that bonus point counts for anything for Pontypool late in the season, other teams are going to be right pissed off with that. Sick. Down in the championship now, a couple of boys on show in there. With Clermont, we had Alfie Evans-Fetchy and Iestyn Wood, who've done the doubler with both Quins on the Thursday night and Clermont on the Saturday. And with Newcastle Emlyn, Harry Fuller was playing again. Into our results, Llangennech, 46 points to 29 over Tata. I mean, I'll be honest, I was expecting a much bigger scoreline considering, the results Llangennech have been putting up recently. But a bonus point win, you can't argue. The All Pembroke Derby, Narberth 30, Clermont 21. Real good performance from Clermont, keeping it that tight. Narberth haven't lost a game all season, and they've come pretty close to being 100% with bonus points as well. So big respect to Clermont for that. Newcastle Emlyn won 45-26 at home to Dunvant, and Ammanford lost 11-7 on the road to Trebanos. So a bit gutted by there. Fixtures for this week: Ammanford are hosting Bonamine, another derby. Newcastle Emlyn are hosting Clermont.
That Newcastle Emlyn and Clermont game that's a proper derby. They properly hate each other. Like Clermont don't like Narberth. They're not fans of Narberth. They don't get on with Narberth. But
they still treat them like kids, though, don't they? I think that's the problem.
Proper hate Newcastle Emlyn. So I'm looking forward to that one.
So, and one thing I love about this week is Cup Week. So, Championship Cup, we've got two teams in it. We got Llangennech away to Bargoed and Narberth at home to Dunvant. Very much expecting Narberth to go through. Llangennech will be an interesting one. I do want to keep tabs on that because that's going to be pretty fun to watch play out. Down into Division 1 West now, Aberystwyth winners 50-19 at home against Pencloud. Hendy 50 points to 5 at home to Felinfol. And then probably the biggest match in the division, Kidwelly at home to Buryport. First time this game's gone this season. Buryport second in the table. Kidwelly not doing quite as well, but the Cats stuck it out. It was a joyous place at Parkseven, 28-26 to Kidwelly, and the boys would trade 10 wins for that any day of the week. And the last game we had, Whitland went down 14-20 at home to Gowerton. Llanelli Wanderers game away to an island was postponed. Now, on to this week, we got Buryport at home to Gysainan, Felinfol at home to Whitland, Kidwelly travelled to Gowerton, Hendy host one island, and Aberystwyth travelled to Pontarddulais. We go into 1 West Central now, and Brynaman went down to now top of the league, Glynneath, 45 points to 3. Can't really say much more. Brynaman, they've pulled out a few results this year. They're doing a lot better than they did last season. But, it's just a result that you come to expect every now and then. No game for them this week, courtesy of the 11-team league. I hate odd-numbered leagues, if you don't already know. And then we've got one team left in the Cup. If we didn't hear them in 1 West, that's because they're in the Cup. Llanelli Wanderers at home to Llandudno. So fingers crossed, as our last team in Division 1 Cup, they will keep going. It's a quarter-final stage, if I'm right. So, a nice top 4 finish would be brilliant. Into 2 West now, and I know Lee's going to comment on this game. Milford travelled to Armagh United and picked up a 13-12 win. And that might not sound like a big win. But why can you tell us why that's so impressive? Lee, sorry.
Because they finished that game with 12 men. I haven't got to the end of it yet. I haven't seen all the reports, but yeah, all I've seen is massive win, finished the game with 12 men, and I don't know how long they were down to 12 for. I think one guy got sent off, one red card, 2 yellows, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, delighted for them because they have had a bit of a torrid time. So to come to really go up against it when you're down to 12 men and you still come away with a win, that takes some doing. So yeah, fair play, boys.
Okay, the results, we had an 80-point game to Christ, losing out 43-37 away to Lacha. No doubt a few bad tactics were played there, no denying their final score. Fishguard lost 34-7 away to Mumbles. St Clair's scraped through 16-11 at home to Carmarthen Athletic. And another high-scoring game, just the 76 points in this one. Tenby winning 39-37 at home to Lampeter. Now, that was a test for Tenby, a real test of their credentials, because, okay, they're not in the hunt at the minute. Well, they are in the hunt, but they're not in the top 3 at the minute. Lampeter are. And to be fair, the games in hand, they win them. So well done to Tenby so far. Games for this week, we got...
Mark, there's a video on YouTube. So Tenby is starting to do a load more stuff with social media and stuff. So Tenby released the video of that game. I think it was more about the kicker more than anything. But have a look on Twitter and YouTube, because the Tenby games are on there now, and apparently it was a really good game. Not as good as when I was playing for them, but good nonetheless. Carry on.
Okay, we got games for this week. We got Arm United at home to Lacha, Carmarthen Athletic at home to Mumbles, Tenby travel to Fishguard, Lampeter host Christ, Ponteberry make the long journey to Milford, and Nancaredig host St Clair's. No teams in the Division 2 Cup. I'm really disappointed by that. Especially Tenby. I had all my hopes on you in the last round, and you bowed out. Still hurting, boys. 3 West A now. And, where have my results gone? My results are gone.
Right, don't go giving me this crap about somebody else's.
My results?
No one's deleted your fucking results. You just didn't save them.
I put my results on here before I used this to put them on my Twitter. Fucking someone's tripping me up again. Bear with me, I'll just pull them up.
It's a fucking computer, Martyn. Right. Aberaeron beat Neyland 49-14. Oof. Cardigan 87, Llanybother 5. Yeah. Pembroke finally got another win, 26-21 over Langham, and Quins got a bit of a tonking, 27-5 at home to Haverfordwest. So there you go. That's it. That's your scores.
Okay, games for this week now. We got Aberaeron at home for Neyland, Cardigan at home to Llanybother, Pembroke travel to Langham, and Pembroke Quins are hosting Haverfordwest. We've got 3 West.
Oi, dickhead! That's the ones that we read the scores out on those ones just now.
Are they really?
Is the Haverfordwest against Cardigan?
Totally switched around.
Wheels have come off, boys.
Oh no, I'm not happy with this.
I'm leaving this in.
No, that's right.
It's not. Trust me, Haverfordwest played the Quins last week. I just read you the friggin' score, man.
Oh my god, dickhead. Oh, it's because there's nothing in it.
Oh, you knob. Right.
Oh.
Haverfordwest, do you want me to do it? Is it
you finished 3 West Day.
His head's gone. Get him off. His head's gone.
His head's gone. Right, Haverfordwest host Cardigan this weekend. Langham travel to Llanybother. Pembroke host Aberaeron, and St David's host Neyland. Have the Quins not got a game then this weekend?
No, I can tell you more about that in a minute. It's mostly down to the cup.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so we go into 3 West B, and Binya beat Tregaron 38-7. High-scoring game here, Llandilo 7, Furness 3. So good win at home for Llandilo, even if the points weren't really on show. Cefneithin won 40 points to 15 away to Llandibby. And then Tumble rocked up to Trimsara and put 52 points over them, 52-22 the final score. Games for this week: New Dock Stars back in action, travelling to Betos. Kev Nathan at home to Binia. Furnace hosting Llandibby. Trimsaran on the road to Llandilo, and Tumble away to Llangadog. Division 3 Cup now, and to top off Lee's point, there was a game. Larn won 29-11 away to Abertysog, and they are playing in the Cup this week at home against Baglan, hence why a few teams are missing from 3 West A. Last one now, we've got a 5 West Central. Panavannan lost 7-12 at home to Congrach. Pennebank won 33-6 at home to Fall Bay, and Pontiacs won 27-24 at home to Taibar. Only one game in the league. Again, this is all because it's Cup week. These are all rearranged games. Pontiacs travel to Banwen, and in the Division 5 Cup, Pennebank are on the road to Clermont. So an all 5 West Central clash today.
So I was just looking at the tables, and what we should do is at the end of every month, we should do a rundown of the tables and all that kind of stuff. But I just looked at the tables, okay, for 3 West A. Larn, how many games do you reckon Larn have played so far? Without looking, put your phone away, Matt. How many games do you reckon Larn have played so far?
I know Larn haven't played that many, so I'm going to go with 8 or 9.
7.
Ooh.
They've played 7 games. Abereiron, who were top of the table, have played 12.
A lot of weddings down in Larn then.
Yeah, I don't know what. I know they've been in a lot of cups and stuff.
Well, yeah, they've had like 3 or 4 weeks, more than once now, trying to get a cup fixture played.
Yeah.
So that does eat into it.
But they've only lost 1 game so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, maybe we should do a rundown of the tables next week, because there's
We're about halfway now, aren't we? So.
Well, we're over halfway in some cases. I wanted to save this for the Six Nations, pick a league each week. Let's have a little look in the tables, see where they are, see who's performed. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but we've got a spreadsheet going that no one else uses except for me.
That's because you put stuff in crazy places.
You just had to go at people who don't exist.
And you didn't do your spreadsheet.
Messing up the spreadsheet.
Yeah, people come on to mess me up. They don't add nothing to it. I even give him permission to do something for me this weekend, and he couldn't be bothered. But no, I've got the max. I've got the maximum points next to the tables now as we're coming to the tail end of the season, so we can see who's actually still in contention.
Mate, you need to sleep more. That's what you need to do. In the middle of the night when you can't sleep, leave the spreadsheet alone, yeah, and just like play some whale music or something.
I don't like whale music. Too annoying. The squeaky. Oh,
that's dolphins. That's different.
It's the same thing.
That's the same thing. Right. Oh God. Let's have some magic numbers, mate. Let's have some magic numbers.
Close the door.
First magic number. Scarlets Fever Twitter page beyond 400 followers. Hooray!
Yay!
Woo!
And I'll say, because I know someone's going to come up and go, "Oh, you've been doing this for 10 years or whatever of you." The reason is we have got a page. So we've got a Twitter page which has got about 1,000 followers, but we lost the logins for it, and we can't remember who. It was back when Brian was doing it, and then Brian got somebody else to do the Twitter thing, and it all just got crazy, and there were different emails on there, so nobody's got a clue who runs our old Twitter page. So we had to start again 2 seasons ago. So yeah, that's why we're happy that we're back at 4. If somebody's sitting there going, I could have sworn that they were doing like, oh, we've got 1,000 followers a couple of years ago. Yeah, we were.
The Facebook page has still got over 1,000, doesn't it?
Yeah. And doing very well. We neglected Facebook for a while, while we were establishing Twitter and YouTube and all of that. But we're back on it now, and
yeah,
I love it. So yeah.
Other magic numbers. So speaking of Twitter, did a poll at the beginning of the weekend, because on the pod we talked about we found it quite odd that there's no real Scarlets on telly doing punditry work, and we put a poll out asking people, does this bother them? And kind of surprisingly for us, 78% of people said no, it doesn't bother them, which I'm a little bit surprised at. I'd have thought more people would prefer it if there were more Scarlets on telly. Now, the Scarlets who are on telly who got put to us were Reese Priestland and Reese Patchell, who are both on S4C. Okay, that fair enough. They are there and they are Scarlets boys. They did also both play for Cardiff as well. That doesn't mean that they don't represent the Scarlets, but it kind of plays into the narrative as well, doesn't it? And of course, Patch is off to New Zealand in a bit, so we'll lose him. People also suggested Jiffy Davis was a Scarlet representation, which he played one season.
Doesn't count.
Played one season for Llanelli in the 80s. He's played for Neath and Cardiff either side of that for much longer. But anyway,
Played for Widnes more.
Yeah.
He played longer for Widnes and Warrington. And who did he play for in
Australia? Didn't he?
Australia. Churchill. I wanted to say Churchill. I don't know why. But yeah. So
yeah. So are you boys surprised by that? Did you think more people would be more asked?
Yeah, I would have thought people would have wanted to see more of their own on TV. But you know what? If most of them people responded as Scarlets, then they're probably used to it and think, nah,
I don't think they were, to be honest. I think the poll got a little bit hijacked because there was some people who shall remain nameless, fans of a nameless club, got very defensive very fast.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's because most of the pundits are from their region. Oh, not their region, the club. With the bus.
Hint.
Yeah. I mean, it's all well and good if you can have like in England where they've got a bigger league, so you can't they tend to have 2 or 3 commentators, and everybody hates Austin Healey anyway. Even the clubs that he played for, everyone hates Austin Healey, so everybody hates him. Do you know what I mean? So it's not such a bad thing. With us, you've only got 4 clubs. And when the vast majority of them are coming from 2 clubs, and then it's like when those 2 clubs are playing, those clubs are talking, those commentators are talking, and that's fair enough. If you've got a Cardiff commentator or Cardiff expert, that's another fucking phrase. Let's stop calling them experts. They're ex-players. If you've got if you put Andrew Ford on there, as to commentate as an expert on a Cardiff game, that I get, because he will go through it and he'll go, actually, here you go, this is what's happening here, and he'll have a good view on it. Yeah. When you've got ex-Cardiff players commentated on an ex-Cardiff, that's great for Cardiff supporters because they're hearing their heroes talk and big up their game. But then when you've got ex-Cardiff players commentating on Scarlets Ospreys, and you've got, and I genuinely heard this a couple of seasons ago. It wasn't this season, but it was a couple of seasons ago, where my favourite commentator was commentating on Scarlets Ospreys. It was at the Liberty, and he said, so it was shortly after kickoff, that this would have been a better atmosphere if it was at Cardiff Arms Park. And you're like, what the fuck are you on about, you dickhead? So it's stuff like that winds me up. If you're going to be neutral, then be neutral. And I don't mind people who are not neutral, as long as you're open and you go like, that's, and you've got some kind of balance.
If you bias, like when I go on other podcasts and people go, "Hugh, what do you think of the Ospreys?" I go, just to let you know, I'm a Scarlets fan, and then I give them my opinion on the Ospreys, and I try to be fair and balanced, but I will always have a slight slant because I have my biases, as the same as you would if any of the Ospreys pod guys went on and were asked about the Scarlets, and that's completely fine. I don't have any issue with that. That's how being a fan works. But just declare it. I will say that there are loads of Scarlets fans who are in other bits. So obviously, like in presenting and actual commentating, not the pundit role, there are a few Scarlets, and there's Like Sam Lana, the big analysis guy, he's a Scarlet, and Ed Jenks and things on Twitter, he's a Scarlet and things. So there are plenty of Scarlets about, just not in that particular vocation.
But I'll come on to this when we do my Grump as well, because yeah, I'll refer back to this moment when I do my Grump later. Go on. Any other magic numbers?
I've got loads of magic numbers about the game, but I'll say when are we talking about the game?
Oh, and go on.
Do what?
Just chuck them in.
Go on. Yeah, do now. Do now. You go on.
I'll do one now.
Yeah.
So this was the I remember now. I've remembered one now. This was the first time. This was the first time all season that our 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 were unchanged from the previous game, where we had apart from the scrum half, completely unchanged backline. This is the first time this season that we've done that. And it was also an unchanged front row for the third game in a row as well, which we started the season with an unchanged front row for 3 games in a row, and then we like chopped and changed every game. So this is finally what I've been banging on about for ages. A bit of continuity coming into the starting team, which I'm happy about.
Woo! It's gonna change again now. You know, last game before break.
It's going to have to, isn't it?
And about 15 injuries in that game. Jesus.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the game, and then we'll do my Griff Grump to finish it off. So let's talk about that game on Saturday with Clermont, because I didn't see it. I'll be honest, and I've barely seen highlights. I've seen highlights of Johnny Williams' tackle, which has been shared by quite a few other people.
You mean his headbutt, not his tackle?
Yeah, his flying headbutt. But I haven't actually seen much of the rest of the game. So talk us through the game then. What did you make of the game?
Okay, so this game was kind of like the opposite of the Leinster game. So most of the first bit was good, and most of the last bit was good, but there was a bit in the middle that was an absolute nightmare. So if you watch the highlights, you won't get an impression of what the game was like, because the highlights will mostly be that middle section. So it was 0-0 for 25 odd minutes, and then Johnny gets his red card.
Whoa. Bear with me. I've got the exact. It was 0-0 for 27 minutes and 40 seconds.
There you go. There you go. So it was 0-0 for that long. Johnny gets his red card, which it was a red card. No, I don't think anyone here is disputing whether it should have been a red or not. And then they went turbo, and this is kind of it's a bit like what we saw against Leinster when we lost the inside centre, which happened twice in that Leinster game, and they were carving us open. And the majority of their tries came from long range, mostly came from line breaks on halfway, and they ran it in and we couldn't recover. So I think that goes to show centre is one of the worst positions to lose to a red card, because we've seen teams like we've seen New Zealand in the World Cup final and Wales with Sam Warburton back in the day and things. If you lose like a flanker, it's easier to cope. If you lose a centre, like your entire defense system is like, oh shit, type moment. So we conceded like 31 points in 19 minutes, I think it worked out as. So that was pretty tough. And you're thinking, when is this going to stop? And then it did stop. And then the last 25 minutes of the game, Mark?
The last 33 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's pretty good. We won 14 points to 7. Now, I know people are going like, oh, where's your trophy parade? Like, yeah, okay, it was still a bad loss, but something happened in that last half an hour. Something about the team clicked. I don't know, it was the changes they made. They got a bit of ball. Clermont had a couple of yellow cards as well. And we got a bit on the front foot, and we started really looking like a cohesive team that knew what they were doing. They knew, and they were, this is a chat that we've had on another video that will come out later. They started not being individuals. They started being a team, and they were working for each other, and they were all going, I'm going to do this so that you can do that. And they were all looking to put each other through. The back three of Lloyd, Steph Evans, and Tom Rogers all worked together really, really well. They all stepped up for each other, and they all stuck to their tasks. And Johan Lloyd stepped up as a distributor when Costello went off with his HIA. Steph Evans also stepped up in a playmaking role as well. And one of his kicks actually turned into a try assist, so fair play. And we also had a third try that was a harsh forward pass. Yeah, okay, it might have been forward, but we were like 40 points down at the time. Just give it to us, man. So the first 25 minutes is the most resilient defending that we've had so far this season. And the last 25 minutes is the most cohesive attack we've had so far this season. We had a nightmare in the middle, and there's winger, Raka, this huge guy. So that you don't get guys like him in the URC. They just don't do wingers like him in the URC. And he was offloading left, right, and centre. I think he got 6 offloads that went to hand, and we couldn't stop him. We didn't know what to do, and that's how the game got away from us. But we stuck at it, and I think, to be fair, the fair play to the commentator as well. The commentator was saying scoreline doesn't reflect this game. The Scarlets have given it a proper good match. So, okay, the scoreline's not on our side, but this is a continuation. Lee, you saw improvement on Boxing Day. I saw the improvement on New Year's Day, and now in this game, we're seeing the improvement. And just like to put it into context, if you look at the underlying numbers, and you compare to the other 4 regions this weekend, the Scarlets were top of the stats in some of these numbers. We had the most carries, most post-contact meters of all the regions that played this weekend. So it was all there. And then, like, I talk about the great players. I'll leave one to last because I'm sure Martyn will want to come in on him. Joe Roberts is the best 13 in Wales. I will have no argument. And he really showed up in this game. He was playing in midfield on his own for most of the game. Yeah, Johan Nicholas came and helped him in a bit. To be fair, that's another thing as well. The impacts off the bench were really good for this game, Johan Nicholas in particular. So Joe Roberts, Vafita, like, is Vafita the best player in Wales? Like, he's ridiculously good. Like, he's one of the best players we've ever had.
If they could qualify him to play for Wales right now, they would.
Yeah, he would be Wales' number 6 if he was Welsh.
Yeah.
I'll leave one of the last guys later. I've mentioned the back 3. Alex Craig, what a signing. Alex Craig has been phenomenal all season. He is into everything. He's our top tackler. He's a line-out option. He's a carrier. He takes the hard yards, and he's available. He hasn't been injured, So, and he hasn't been red-carded. So, great signing that he is. And then, Mark, I'll let you come in on Archie Hughes. He only got 50-odd minutes, but the zip that he brought to our play and the composure that he showed, he's a good player. If one of our scrum halves that we've got at the moment, our 2 internationals, go, we're not losing anything if Archie Hughes steps up. I've seen enough of him in that game that I'm sold. I'm on the hype train. Is Martyn frozen?
I think Martyn's frozen, Again, he's either concentrating really, really hard or he's frozen. There we go, he's gone. Just when we thought we'd finished playing. How long will Martyn last? Hang on. He's coming back in. Again, I'm not going to cut this bit because I think these are some of the best bits. So, there he is. Hiya, Mart.
If you can see, this is what I was on. It's fucking overheated.
That's because you've got it on the radiator.
The radiator's off. Oh, terrible.
Anyway, Mark, I was just bigging up Archie Hughes and saying how amazing he was.
Yeah. We've been waiting for Archie to play. We wanted to see him last season. It's taken till January now to see him this year. And honestly, why have we waited so long? The performance he put in, almost every single one of his kicks were competitive. All right, some of them were a bit short, but they were all competitive. His speed out of the ruck, and something I really liked about him, but I don't think he's going to be encouraged to do it anymore. He got a bit physical. Fair play to him.
He's only dirty as well.
Yeah, I know he's that typical scrum half, the barking all night long, but he actually tried to bite someone. But no, I think it was early in the game, probably around 10 minutes. He actually cleared someone out, and I don't know who it was, But the Clermont forward, he just got done by Archie Hughes, so just standing there, with his leg hooked up in the air, going, "What are you doing, Matt?" It was just brilliant to watch, and obviously there was no nine for us to get the ball out, so we were all just standing around waiting for Archie to get back.
Yeah.
And then later on, obviously one of our boys carried in get held up into a maul. Archie took it down. He literally just ran in from the side, took one of the Clermont players, and took them all down. It's brilliant. You love to see a snipey little nine that wants to get stuck in a dirty. Really backed up his words in the press conference this week.
One of my favourite bits in most games, and there's usually one or two of them in a game where there's a maul of some sort. It usually comes off a line out, and you're usually going backwards, and a winger decides that they're going to throw all of their weight into the ruck or into the maul, and just like nothing happens, and they give it this big run up, and they go, yeah, bang, and then nothing happens.
We got double marks.
What is this? This is ridiculous now. How have I got two of you?
Is it two of me? Does it actually work?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there's two of you here, Mart.
And they give it 30 seconds, and you can make up for the time I lost.
Oh my God. I can only cope with one of him at a time. Two of them would just be. Anyway, yeah.
The phone literally just came back on and started straight back up. Awesome.
My favourite one of a scrum half running in was Reece Webb, who tried to run in and clear out a ruck and decided to run into a prop shoulder and literally bounced himself back about 4 foot when he went in, and he's sitting on the floor going, oh, he's just big and I'm a pussy. So it's it was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Well, I posted a big stats thing about Archie on Facebook and Twitter, and they got really great receptions. But what isn't in the stats is the speed of his pass. Like, I can't find stats for that. He is the ruck is formed, he is there, and the ball's away. So we had 47% of our rucks below 3 seconds, and I'd be willing to bet that Archie, his time on the pitch, he was a good part of that. He didn't get very many minutes, but this is, like Mark said, why have we not seen him more? Because he's been on the bench. He's a bit like Titcombe, that they've been on the bench and just not brought on.
Just not used. But he's tiny. And this is what we said. If you go back to the start of the season where we were talking about Archie Hughes, and I said then he is tiny and small, and with the best will in the world, if he's going to continue doing what he's doing, he needs to put a bit of bulk on to protect himself. Do you know what I mean? He needs. You look at the shape that Gareth Davis is in, yeah, and Gareth Davis isn't that much taller than Archie.
I've got the stats for you. Gareth Davis is 5'10", Archie is 5'8", but Gareth is 15 kilos heavier. Archie's only 73 kilo. He's tiny.
Yeah,
that is.
And I think that's why he's not there, because it takes time to build 15 kilos of bulk, and still maintain it, but he will get there. And yeah, I think this is the way we should be doing it. In all honesty, he should be coming on more regularly and doing 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 30 minutes against the right team. If it's if we're probably getting a bit more, then okay, leave him on for 60, 65 or whatever. And that's how you need to manage players through, to give them the experience. So while they're building their bulk and while they are getting physically up to standards, they're also gaining a bit of game time. So that's where I think we're going with Archie anyway.
Well, I'm very hopeful now. Obviously, Six Nations squad is going to get announced tomorrow, which will be today.
He's good. He's not going to be in the Six Nations squad.
No. I mean, I hope not. Christ.
No,
we've seen Gatland do worse before.
He is a Scarlet scrum half, so he probably will play for Wales sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but remember Priddy and Christian Phillips? They hadn't even played a senior game when they got picked. But no, Hardy and Gareth, most likely, at least one of them is going to be in the Six Nations squad, if not both. I'd really like Archie to keep this shirt through the Six Nations now. Give it to him against Edinburgh. We got the Exeter friendly, which it's not going to be a friendly, but still. And then we've got the 3 games where we haven't got the internationals during the Six Nations. So 2 full weeks and the week after. So just give him the shirt. Let him have a run. Let him get used to it. Our season's already gone. We've only had 2 wins, against that team that fans can't do anything. And we'll cut that out.
They don't like that. They don't like it when you talk back at them.
I'm not talking at them. I'm talking to
Well,
them.
we'll talk about the rest of the season in a minute. I just want to go back a step, Hugh, to Johnny Williams, right? So, was it that is he our defensive controller? And if he is he that good? Or was it that anybody could have been 12, and the fact that we've lost a 12 is what was important? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if Johnny's our defensive controller. I feel like Joe Roberts has
Yeah.
more impact on the defense than Johnny does. However, I think losing that figure, I mean, we've seen it 3 times now and it's had the same effect. So I think that it clearly does have an impact. And like I said, Dwayne made the choice to keep an 8-man pack. Now, whether, we know French teams are bulky and that's normally where they target us. But if you look at the stats, the set piece and things was pretty even, and Fafita's still stealing opposition line out ball like it's going out of fashion, which is mad.
I think Fafita steal ball if he was in Haverfordwest against Leicester. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like it was just having the body down and it completely throws the system, and I think that would happen to most teams. I think if they had their time again, would they take maybe Dan Davis off and bring on Johan Nicholas in the first half? Something like that to try and cope, because like I said, a flanker is easier to cope without. And if you look at the stats, Dan Davis, no carries, 2 out of 2 tackles, 1 turnover in his
How
first
long
half
was he
of
on the
pitch.
field, Robert?
He was on for 40 minutes, but his stats were lower than everybody else. So he didn't, even with his 40 minutes on the pitch, he didn't do very much. So look, the point isn't that I'm digging out Dan Davis. The point is, tactically, would it have been the lesser of 2 evils to go down a flanker and keep the man in midfield, based on, like I said, three times we've lost our inside centre and we've been cut apart.
And it's hindsight, isn't it? It's all, but it's learning from it as well. And I think that's the bit that I think we've been through the shit now. I think all the stuff that's been thrown at Dwayne has been thrown. I think the stuff about the team and the club is starting to sink in, and people are actually starting to listen to what's being said now, and I think stuff will start to happen. Is Martyn frozen again? Is he going to disappear? No, this time he is concentrating. So
I'm listening astutely.
So do you know what? I think we've been through the dip. But I think the disappointing thing is we've had to go through it 2 seasons now. We started last season poorly and then came good in the second half. We've started this season poorly. We're kind of showing signs of improving, but 7 games left. We really need to win at least 5.
That's the frustrating thing, is the first half of this season is effectively wasted. We had the strong finish to last season, and I can give you the reasons why. We've essentially got a brand new team, and we got a new coaching ticket, so we got a new forwards coach. And to be fair, Albert Vandenberg's gotten a lot of shit. Our line out is getting better. I can tell you that. And
our scrum as well. Our scrum is improving as well.
Although Emma Phillips is still officially the scrum coach, I know that there's, I won't go into that. So yeah, and new players and new coaches, like what's his name, Jared Payne. So it's just a shame that first half of the season is lost, and we didn't manage to carry any learning from the end of last season into the beginning of this season. And now we've reset. It's only 3 games in to what we think the reset has been, but it's just a shame. It's a shame that there's half the season just gone.
But then if we come out of this next season and actually we spend the rest of this season putting things right, and almost this is pre-season for next season, like you were saying, Matt, give Archie the shirt because he's going to be here next season. Will we be able to hold on to Gareth Davis on the big money next year?
Well, I'll be honest. He's 33, isn't he? He's a Lion, so he's in wage bracket at the WRU force.
Is these wage banding still a thing?
That I'm not sure if they're active in the agreement signed last year, but obviously players were still on them contracts when that PRA was signed, so that doesn't change anything. It's on the next contract. So your likes of Gareth Davis, Foxy, Ken, these boys are Lions. These are in the 250k plus a year, and we know they're not on the minimum banding for that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We're expecting Ken and Foxy to retire or at least leave the club at the end of the season. And the money that's going to open up, I'll say that's probably going to cover the windfall to the new bloody budget for next season. That's the amount that these boys are getting paid, and it's really sad because obviously Ken's not playing and Foxy's not playing, so we're basically spending nigh on 750k on two players that are not even showing up for the team. And obviously it's not by choice. Obviously Peelers thinks for whatever reason that Foxy can't do it no more, and he's not as good enough to get the 23. And obviously Ken's injured, so there's that.
Yeah. I'm really lost with the budget talk at the moment because, like I said on a previous pod, I know we've talked about it, Mark. You hear so many different things from different people, and you hear about it's a soft limit or blah blah blah, and then you talk about the number of players that we know are going. Like for us, we know we've got a load of senior players, as you just said, are on big money, will be going. So does that mean that we're definitely going to lose the likes of a Gareth Davis? I don't know. So I'm kind of like, let's wait and see on it, because I don't really want to be like no, everything's definitely going to fall apart. I'm like, let's just weather it, because I think if we're smart, we can get through it.
Yeah, it's something that we've seen in other teams. There's next to no players in that middle bracket. As in, you've got your early career boys, your bloody first 2 or 3 seasons who are on short money, 50, 60, 70k. And then you just jump up straight to like 200 plus for your internationals, for your proper internationals. There's not that many in that gap, that 100, 125 grand slot. Those are the sort of players we need to be targeting, and unfortunately not many seem to exist.
But we are getting smart. We are getting smart about it. We're going off on a bit of tangent here, but we're now shopping in the Curry Cup. I'd like us to shop a little bit in the DD10 in Georgia as well, because we know they make players. I was talking to some Italian content creators last week, and apparently there's more players than the clubs than Benetton and Zebra can handle at the moment going around in Italy. So can we like tap on there and go, hey, you got an academy player, you want to get some game time? Because that's the boat that we're in. So, like I said, let's be smart, let's be proactive. Let's not just sit back and go, oh, well, it's all fucked because we haven't got any money. Let's go, no, this is the amount of money that we got. These are the players that we got. Let's be smart and actually be proactive in some squad management for a change, rather than either getting lumped with a load of internationals that we don't want, or having to bring up the kids because all those internationals suddenly bugger off.
I think the thing is now is by this time, Peel kind of knows who he's got left for next season. He knows what players are going to be. So those players who needed to have contracts for next year, if your contract expires at the end of this season, your conversations have been had pretty much. And so he knows who's staying and who's not. It may not have been announced, or they may be, just waiting to sign contracts, or they may be, fannying around over the last couple of details and things. But he's got a 95% of his squad for next year sorted, as in who's staying for next year. He knows 95% is staying for next year. So he can start to build, and he can start to say, right, okay, these are the players that I need to kind of focus on. And, the thing is you can't come out and say that. And I think that's the frustrating bit, just because the way contracts and all of that stuff works. You can't come out and say, right, he's going, so I'm only going to use them coming on as subs for the last 20 minutes, and I'm going to give 60 minutes to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-so because they've signed a contract for next year. You can't come out and say that. That's because that's not the way it works. But that's what he needs to be doing, I think, now, between now and the end of the season.
Yes, 100%.
And it might be a rocky road to the end. And this is why I get frustrated with the club. If we came out and said that,
exactly,
and we went, here's the plan. Yeah, here's the plan of what we're going to do for the rest of the season, and this is what you can expect. And it might be actually we're trying to develop a more exciting style of play where we play off wingers and we play off turnover balls. We're focusing on building a strong defence and a forward platform, and we're going to do that. Do you know what I mean? You'd have something there, and then let's make something of the match day experience aside from the rugby. You know, let's treat them as separate things done by different people, and then you'll get people coming back to the game. But I just think to sit there, we're almost shooting ourselves in the foot as a club, and just not by saying nothing, we're not.
Yeah, we're
do you
left
know what I mean?
guessing,
We're not
aren't we?
committing. Yeah,
But-
we're not
yeah.
going either way, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. My frustration with the first half of this season is because, you know, the whole saying of everyone's got a pan until you get punched in the face. I think at the beginning of this season, we got a pretty hard punch in the face down in South Africa, and then a couple of results didn't go our way back up north. And I think maybe the first Ospreys game in Swansea, it was just like okay, we need results now. And any kind of plan that we had went out the window, and we started rushing players back from injury, etc., etc. And it all just piled up and piled up and piled up until we got the black line thing. So, like I said, it's a shame, but it's gone now. And I do feel like that this team is turning the corner. And I do think that we are going to have a better second half of the season if we carry on in this vein. If we show what we showed for 60 out of those 80 minutes in Clermont, I think there's something there for fans to really buy into.
Okay, I can never tell when Martyn's looking at the screen because Martyn's on a small phone screen. I can never tell if Martyn's frozen or just really focusing intently on the screen on what's being said.
It needs to hold up a little spinny thing.
Yeah,
so we know if this thing is spinning.
Get yourself a pencil or something and just keep kind of like doing this every now and again. He's holding the phone still. That's what he's doing. Right. Let's let's talk about the Edinburgh game then for this weekend. And so before we talk about the pitch and what happens on the pitch and all that, not the pitch, what's on the pitch. So obviously Edinburgh, I'm just going to give ourselves a little bit of a plug here. So we've had a bit of a chat with Javen Sebastian, and I've been saying his name wrong for quite some time. And I'll be honest, when he was playing for the Scarlets, I wasn't overly complimentary to his style of play, but he's actually a really, really nice guy to talk to. And, you know, most importantly, we discussed his hair. And so, you know, that gives you an idea of where we're going with a conversation with
he's got away.
So, in fact, we discussed hair quite a bit. Here, and we discussed Steph Evans's hair with Javen Sebastian in Edinburgh, and yeah, so that's coming out on a bonus pod as part of our build up to the Edinburgh game for this weekend. So that'll be out on. Are we playing on Friday or Saturday?
It is Friday.
It is Friday. Oh,
Friday,
okay.
8 o'clock.
Okay, so that'll come out on Wednesday then. That pod will come out on Wednesday, and it won't come out on YouTube for the simple reason that when you do listen to it on the pod, the first couple of questions, there's a little bit of that going on, and so we all had to switch our videos off just so we could get a decent signal. But after those first couple of questions, which are literally how are things going and how cold is Scotland, bearing in mind it's snowed. It's probably the wrong question. It's snowing.
The answers to those were good and cold.
Yeah.
No, it was cold for the misses. I'm all right.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, anyway, so that'll be out on Wednesday morning. So yeah, do give that a listen because it is an interesting conversation, and he is very honest about his time with the Scarlets and his opinion of the Scarlets, how much he likes the Scarlets fans, and you know all of that kind of stuff, and his view on the game. So that's an important thing coming up. So let's talk about Edinburgh at home. Martyn, what are you expecting and what are you hoping for? Let's try separate those out from the Edinburgh game.
What am I expecting? I'm expecting to keep 15 men on the pitch. I think that's the first and foremost. And just a continuation of these last two games. I mean, we've saw some nice things against the Ospreys, a little bit more against the Dragons, and a lot more this weekend against Clermont. So I'm just hoping to see us build on that. And I'm a little bit scared, to be honest, because we picked up, I think it was 3 or 4 injuries in that game. Josh, Sam, Dan Davis.
Sam's probably going to be out with the protocols, isn't he?
Yeah, 6 days, so he's not going to make it. We know that 100%. Josh has got no luck with injuries, and same as Dan, really. It must be being an open side flanker. You just don't get luck with injuries, especially if you're starting.
It is, if you look, because I've been tracking all the regions teams, and like if you look at the Dragons back row, oh my god, it's like 3 different players every game.
Yeah, it is unreal. The fragility, not the fragility, but the breakdown bloody rate of flankers is just surreal. So it is literally, I think we're going to be picking bare bones from our back row, especially if Dan and Josh are both out. We're back down to Ben Williams, Leatherbarrow, and Fafita, and that's it. Because we already got Carwyn and Ewan Shenton out. I think Leatherbarrow is actually out as well at the minute. I think he's on a HIA recovery, so he might not even be ready. Bloody hell.
What about Plumtree? When's Plumtree back?
April.
Yeah, April.
Great
signing. He's injured, don't play. Yay. Then again, what can we expect? He came for Wales, so when players do that, generally we only see him for Wales. But it's just the way it goes. I mean, Sanjay with us a few years ago, he came back because he wanted. You can see how sad and upset I am in my heart. But to say to play for your club, forget your bloody country. I am 100% club before country, or region for country, however you want to put it. But no, just we need more performances. We need to keep building. And Edinburgh, our team, I think we can get a result against, especially at home. If we get a good crowd, which we normally do, we normally get 6,000 plus. And I'm hoping they marked it right, and we actually do a bit more advertising. So I know they put like 500 tickets for the next 500 tickets for a tenner. So that's decent advertising, marketing. I'm happy with that. So if we could get anywhere near 8,000, I think that'd be brilliant, and you could really create some noise, because it's only the north and south stand. We don't even open the west or east anymore. I mean, saying that east, oh Christ, it must be years since we've opened that properly.
Yeah, but we've got the biggest.
I've been in the East Stand. I watched an Ospreys game from the East Stand once, and it was full when I was there.
Yeah, we've got a really big ground. Like, I know obviously Ospreys have got Swansea, but ours is bigger than Cap and Rodney Parade by a lot. So
put together. No,
that's not quite nice.
No, that's not quite that much. But yeah.
But no. The point is, like, just because we don't open those stands doesn't mean that we get bad attendances. We don't. We get very good attendances compared to the other guys.
Yeah. No, obviously the West Stand has been closed for this season. Like the start, they haven't sold any season tickets. It used to be the family stand. Now it's the family section in the South Stand. So that's just so a crowd is the main thing for us. I think if the boys see the fans still going in, still willing to support, it'll be a massive morale boost for them.
Yeah. So can I just come in on that? So we're going to be putting out a couple of bits to hype up the game throughout the week, as Lee's just mentioned. We got the Sebastian interview. There's a little video that we've done as well that we're going to put out to.
We've done not. Come on, who? Don't be humble. Who has done this? Who's baby?
Okay, so we're going to be talking, but the point is, and we put this on Twitter earlier. Lee put this on Twitter and Facebook earlier. We've got 10 games left this season. 7 of them are home games, because that just shows how barren our first half of the season has been. But we as fans can go on a run now and get behind the team. And like you said, Mark, it's 10 quid a ticket for the next 500 tickets against Edinburgh. And we always get a good group of people turn up anyway. We're very less than 6,000. We can do it, as a fan group. We can be behind the team, and we can show them, like, yes, we've had a tough time, but we're still here, and we're going to back you, and we still love you, So yeah, that's kind of my bit that I wanted to say, is that there's still something for fans to be into this season.
Yeah,
and we're going to be a big part pushing that.
I completely agree, and I would love to say that this is the game that's going to turn it round, but there's snow forecast and it's -2, and if it's not snowing, it's pissing down. And that's what I keep throwing this in about the weather forecast, and it's like, actually, yeah, that does affect it. This is why I'm a fan of the summer game. This is why I'm a fan of the Baltimore Ravens stadium in NFL. Have you seen it? Because it's got one of them, Matt. It's got a clear roof. It's got a see-through roof.
Oh, like Dunedin.
Yeah.
I really want to.
Dunedin, eh?
Dunedin.
But it's got
Can't say words.
Neither can I, Dory.
The Baltimore Stadium has got a roof that you can like they suffer from too much heat, so you can like blank out sun and what have you. But there's no reason why, as an ambition, we shouldn't be looking at something like that in the future, because the amount of games that we go to where it is honking it down, and it doesn't ruin the match day experience, but your match day experience becomes, Christ, it was cold and it was wet. But yeah. I still enjoyed the game, but it was cold. Instead of, we had a good match day experience because there were bands playing and there were kids playing and it was this and it was this and that, and the stadium, and it was honking it down outside, but inside the stadium it was a good laugh. Do you know what I mean? But that's stuff for the future.
So we want a freestanding clear roof, because we don't want a roof attached. We don't want to seal off the whole place. We want to keep some air flowing in. I know we got the sides.
We're not architects. Let's not suggestions.
Have a look at. I'm sure it's a Baltimore Ravens stadium that they were talking about, but it's got basically a clear roof. But for me, yeah, I think now is the opportunity. We've got to come as a set of fans. We've got to get to a point where we go, do you know what? We're going to turn up, and we're going to turn up, and we're going to show what we've got. And if you listen to, go back to the Sebastian interview, we asked him on there, but what is the difference of having fans cheering for you? Yeah, particularly when you're up against it, particularly when you're on a bit of a downer and you've got those fans there. So listen to what he says about how that affects players coming out of the tunnel. So to people that say, oh, we don't want drums, and we don't want trumpets, and we don't want people making a noise, and we don't want those kids shouting at the front, and we don't want the kids banging on the barriers at the front. Yeah, there are those people that say, I don't want kids in front of me, I want to sit and enjoy the game. As a player, that is what gets you up. That is what gets you going. Yeah, that is what gets you alive. Knowing that when you come out that tunnel, there's going to be this crescendo of noise, and it's there for you, and you feel about 50 foot tall, and that lasts for the first 20 minutes, and then you don't hear anything for the first 20 minutes of a game. Yeah, when you're playing that game, you do not hear what's going on the side unless there's a big pause in the game. Yeah, and you get to about 25 minutes, and you start to become aware of what's going on of you around the outside. Yeah, if it's dead and if it's quiet from the start, you feel that from the start. Otherwise, all you hear is this big crackle. You hear this, and when you kind of like the crackle gets louder, but you're almost aware of it, but you're not aware of it because you're focused on what you're doing. So the message is, yeah, get there and make a noise. Yeah, bang the drums, play the trumpets. Shout for no reason at all. If nobody else is shouting, start a chant. Make your own chant up and get your mates involved and start a chant and see how far you can make that chant go.
Oh, I've got a good chant. It
makes a difference. Go on then.
We love you, cat boy. We do.
So here's one that my boys made up, God, years ago. This is when both of them were going. So this was
okay. When your boy made this up.
No, they're both my boys. I used to take both my boys to the games. So this would have been 6-7 years ago. And we kind of made it up in the car on the way up. And it's I'm Scarlet in my heart. I'm Scarlet in my heart. right to the end, right from the start. I'm Scarlet in my heart, and then you just go louder and louder and faster and faster. It's just really good. Up to HAPPY. You know, I am HA. I am Scarlet in my heart. So it was, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's make it something from the fans. Let's get out there and do something, because
Yeah.
you know, we can sit there and be miserable and shout and complain and say how shit everything is and all that kind of stuff, or we
There's
can
a
go
lot
and try and
of
do something about it.
exactly, Lee. I completely agree with you. There's a lot of what are the clubs doing for me? What are the clubs doing for me? And yeah, we are customers. Now's not the time for that. Now's the time for what can I do to support my region, because they need our help. Let's be honest about it. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what
It's
time
not
the
their
game
fault.
yeah, it doesn't matter what time the game is, what's the competition that we're playing in, who we're playing against, to back the team. That's how you can help, and how we can help, and how we can all be part of it as a fan, including myself in all this. So yeah, I'm not trying to lecture anybody or call anybody out. I'm saying
Let's go and
it's
do it.
something we can do.
Yeah. Okay, so shall we make some predictions for the Edinburgh game then? Should we finish up with that? Go on,
Yeah.
Hugh. You, Catboy, give us a prediction for the Edinburgh game.
So if you have a glance at the URC stats, Edinburgh are pretty close to the top of most of them, and they're actually higher than Glasgow in a lot of them. But they just lost at home to Gloucester, and Gloucester suck.
They do.
So
he
The
is right.
facial expression to go with on it. Gloucester suck.
I think we're going to win, and I'm not just predicting a win, because we always predict a win on the Scarlets ones. I think we're going to win. So I'm going 32-18 to the Scarlets.
Nice one, Mart.
I got to think again now. That was really close to what I was going to say. Shit. No, yeah, it's exactly the same feeling, especially around Edinburgh. I don't know why. Nothing particularly, says about our URC season or our European season says that we should be winning any games. But yeah, I've got that feeling that this is going to be it. We've seen massive progression over the last 3 games. So 33-17. I'll stick by the ball, bugger it.
So yeah, I'm gonna go as well, and what I'm gonna say to people is ignore what everybody else is telling you. Ignore what the Ospreys fans are telling you about how crap you are. Ignore what the Cardiff fans are telling you that you should be playing in Anglo-Welsh League. Let's get there, and the more of us that turn up and are shouting and screaming and banging drums, the easier it'll be for players to turn it in. And I genuinely believe that we have turned the corner. It's more of a U bend than a right angle.
But we're not going that way anymore. That's the point.
Yeah.
We've turned the corner.
Yeah. And you can kind of feel it, and it is going to take a while to build a lot of positivity, but I think this could be the game where we just go, well, where the hell has that been all season? So I'm going to go 25-5 to us. And yeah, I think the defense has started to show what it's made of. I think the scrum is starting to show. I think the line out is starting to show. And I think the boys are starting to buy into it and go, do you know what? Let's hammer this. So I'm going to go 25-5 on that one. And do you know what? I'm not even going to do my grump tonight. I think we're finishing on a really positive. I'll save it for next week, because I can guarantee what I was going to grump about, those bastards will still be doing it next week as well. So, yeah.
He gone?
Where the fuck has he gone now?
I'm showing you. Got special guests for the pod.
Oh, is it a robot cat?
What? No. Oh, there's a cat. Right. So are we pretending that the cat is alive? Are we?
I'm not poking him. He's sleeping.
He's sleeping again.
Hey, Thistle.
So shock and awe, Thistle is asleep again.
He's a cat.
He's a stuffed cat that you move the arms and legs, and then you put him in the background, and you go, "Oh, look, there's my cat. He's watching the telly." because Hugh's got a little.
Are you questioning the cat knowledge of Catboy? What's happening here?
Gents, on that note, I think we've come to the end of this week's merry little jaunt that we call the Scarlets Fever podcast. So just one thing that I need to run through for what's coming in the future. Trust me on this, we have got some big stuff coming in the future. So we can't talk about it for the minute because we don't really know the details of it and when it's going to happen and all of this kind of stuff. But trust me, over the next 12 months, we are going, so that's us and Rap and the Rap family, but definitely us. There's stuff coming. Tell your friends, get them involved, get them on board with us, get them subscribed into our YouTube channel. We'll make a massive
look at his
difference.
poor face.
It will.
Oh
No,
my
it will.
God.
It will, simply because the stuff that we've got coming is related to videos and visual stuff and all of this kind of malarkey. So it makes a massive difference to us and income for us at the minute. There's very little income. There's a little bit of income off the podcast, which covers our costs. But if we want to go on and do other things and get Martyn a decent signal or whatever, then
Hey, the signal's been fixed.
But
yeah, it was his phone. To buy Martyn a new phone.
Yeah.
I don't need a new one. Second hand is fine.
But the point is that more people that subscribe to YouTube, whether you watch our channel or not, if you subscribe to it, it unlocks features inside YouTube that we can use and all that kind of stuff. But we have got big stuff coming. So one of the bits on my grumble was going to be the person that said we were a micropod. The Rap family is a micropod. So this will be my rant on Rap tomorrow as well. Okay, so Rap is recording tomorrow, so they capture the Welsh one. But you know what we're doing and what we're saying and how we're saying it and all of that. It's important. It's important, and fans are listening, and the club is listening, and players are listening, and we know this, and we know that. Yeah. So, and we want to be a part of a positive future for the Scarlets. We definitely do. And we want to take the fans with us, and what we've got coming will be a key part of that. You know, it will blow everything open. So please do give us a hand just by, subscribing to our YouTube channel and make a massive difference. And if you can tell your mates as well, that will be really, really good. I'll be very grateful. Thank you very much for that. So you can find Rap and Fever and all the other things on Spotify and Apple and all the other crap. Anywhere you find a podcast, you will find us. You'll find us on Twitter. You'll find us on Facebook. You'll find us on. We are actually on Instagram as Rap, but we just share everything. TikTok, yeah, actually, we're on TikTok. We are already on TikTok. Rap is, yeah. I just that's what I'm talking about, the video thing. Once we get the video thing sorted, then the mechanisms are all there, so they're there. So we're on all of those, but most importantly, I just want to thank people for listening, because the guy that told us we were pointless and minuscule and all of that kind of stuff today really got my goat going. He really pissed me off.
Let's hear his podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just want to thank people for listening and sticking with us for this long, because it does make a difference, and we will get there together as a family. So thank you very much for tonight, gents. I shall bid you adieu. I shall wish you well. Enjoy your rugby. We shall catch up and do this all again next week with big smiles on our faces and happy times. All the best, gents. Ta-da.
Bye-bye.